Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back, Jamie here today, and we're going to be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which was released in 2003, 8 years after the Next Generation, and it was Platinum Dunes who created this, who was owned by Michael Bay, and this isn't the first horror remake that they'll get into. But also I gotta say right off the bat, I think this is probably one of the best horror remakes there is out there, you know, because it takes the original and it does something different, but it don't completely mess it up. Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street didn't really do anything different. Friday the 13th, this and Evil Dead, I feel like they're the better remakes, especially this one. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. It starts with documentary footage of the Hewitt house. And when I first saw this when I was a kid, I was like 8 or 9, I thought this was actually real. Because they always say oh, the films are based on real events. I thought this was actual documentary with footage of the real Leatherface, but you know, of course it's just made for the film and it's even the same mask and everything, but as a kid I really thought this was real. From there we go into the actual story. We got Sweet Home Alabama playing on the radio, 5 characters inside a van. The main one, Erin, the girl, played by Jessica Biel, who does a really good job. We got Kemper, a boyfriend, Morgan, who's kind of annoying. He seems like the replacement of Franklin. We got Ander and this hitchhiker who they've picked up, and them two are just together. They're on the way to see Leonard Skinner at a concert, because obviously this is the 70s. And they've also got 2 pounds of weed with them as well. From there, they see this woman on the road and they pick her up. And this is sort of the hitchhiker sort of thing from the first one, but they changed it because this is a girl and you can tell she's traumatized. She's just been through something. They're asking her questions and she's like, oh, you're all gonna die. They're all dead. She pulls out a gun from underneath her legs and she just shoots herself beside the head. And traumatic experience, you get that amazing shot. It backs out right there and it backs through the head all the way to the outside. Amazing shot, man. I'd recommend going and watch the documentary on the DVD as well, and it shows you how they did that shot and all that. It was actually a pretty good documentary. They all get outside the van and obviously, they're traumatized from this. Morgan with the glasses won't stop drooling. Like I said, I think he's supposed to be Franklin, this annoying character. And then they decide to throw away the weed because, the police are going to be coming. They drive away and they pull up to a gas station to phone the police. The woman behind the counter tells them, because she phones the police for him, she's like, oh yeah, he says he'll meet you up at the old mill. And then straight away you're like, well, why would we need to go meet the police somewhere else? Why don't they come here? They go to the mill and they find a little boy there instead who says the sheriff's at home getting drunk. From there, introduced to the Hewitt house, which, it's not the Sawyers anymore, but this house looks pretty sick. It's a mansion and we got low angle shots just like the original as well. But this definitely dwarfs the original house. This is such a big house in the middle of nowhere. And it does look pretty good as well, especially at night when it's lit up from the back. It does look really good. We introduced to Monte, who's an old guy inside a wheelchair with no legs. He only lets Erin inside the house. He lures her to the back as well. He's fell over and he starts grabbing her ass and shit because he needs help getting up. And then from there, we're still at the van with the other characters. The sheriff arrives and he's played by R. Lee Ermey, an amazing actor. Hoyt is his name inside this, Hoyt, and he does such an... he steals the show, he really does. I would have loved to see this Hoyt with Chop Top and Drayton and all that. That would have been amazing. But like I said, this remake, it's not trying to be the original. It's got different characters. Hoyt's not trying to be the cook or anything like that. He's his own person, which I really like. And he, like I said, he steals the show. From there, Kemper, Erin's boyfriend, walks into the house and he gets hit over the head with a hammer by Leatherface. So one of the first sightings of Leatherface, just like the original. And we got to talk about how Leatherface looks inside this. He looks brutal. He looks really menacing. He's definitely big. He's got different outfit on, different mask, but he does look so good. Menacing, no doubt. And he drags him and slams the door again, just like the original. Hoyt's we got to move the body out of the car. And some of this dialogue here is she ain't gonna bite you, she's deader than a doornail. And also he's oh, she's kind of wet down there, what have you boys been doing with her? It's what the fuck? And apparently this was all ad-libbed by R. Lee as well. That's what they say in the documentary. He was just throwing these lines out. They weren't scripted. And then we get a cool shot of Leatherface at work, designing his masks and all that. And he finds the wedding ring on Kemper's body. So he was obviously going to propose to Erin, but he never got a chance to. Adds a little bit of depth to the character, it's not bad. Erin goes back to the group at the van and they find a photo of the girl who shot herself beside a jar with a photo of a family on it as well. So, something weird's going on here. Her and Andy go back to the house to look for Kemper. Erin distracts Monty outside while Andy goes in. This house seems like the original. There's animals everywhere, like chickens, parts, all this. It's at the fridge as well. But Monty realizes that, you know, they're playing him and they're inside the house, and he knocks on the door. He knocks on the floor. He's like, come get it, come get it. And then Leatherface comes out with the chainsaw, cuts through the door. He cuts the guy's leg off as Erin runs away. So this guy's got one leg, and he just, you know, puts him on his shoulder, brings him back. We cut back to the van, and Hoyt's there, and he finds a joint, and instead of listening to what they're saying, they're like, are you people smoking drugs? Leatherface is using a sewing machine, and we see like his real face, and it's like deformed a little bit, but apparently what was it? It was like cancer or something, right? Like when he was a kid, and it made him all deformed. He's barely got any nose. It looks a bit like Voldemort in a way, but he's making a Kemper mask, which we'll see later on. The sheriff wants a reenactment of what happened inside the van, so he gets a gun and he threatens Morgan to, like, you know, do it, but there's no bullets inside it. Morgan doesn't know that, so he points the gun at the sheriff, and he realizes, oh shit, there's no bullets, and he's like, oh, we got ourselves a killer. So he decides to take him to the house. He's arrested now. So while them two are gone, Leatherface appears at the van and he kills Pepper, and we get that sick shot. Erin's inside the van. He slowly turns around with all like the shit going down, and you see Kemper's face, and it looks so good. Like, can you imagine being inside Erin's position? You see like your partner dead, and someone's wearing the face. Like, what the fuck? Erin gets chased through the woods from there. She finds a trailer, and with like two old women in there, and they're talking about, oh, he's just a sweet boy, he won't come messing around here, you know, he had a disease, everyone bullied him, and he end up drugging her, just like every film. Like, how many times it started in the original with the cook, and then like throughout the series, even Next Generation, like you run to a location, you think you're safe, but really they're working with the family. So nothing new there. She wakes up beside the house, and Leatherface is sat inside like the corner of the room, just like cowering, and his mum calls him in. She's like, Thomas Brown Hewitt. So there we got Leatherface's real name. He throws her into the basement. From there, she finds Andy on top of a piano, one leg cut off. And, you know, he's like, you know, mercy kill me, please just put me out my misery. So she does, and then, like, I understand it's emotional, but just the way it's like, she's just there, like, holding onto his feet, crying. It seems kind of weird, man. But she did put him out of his misery, which was good, because, you know, the guy's got one leg. He's hanging up on a hook. Like, come on, you gotta do something. Down there, she finds Morgan, who's still alive as well. Leatherface is spying on him from upstairs, and that kid from before shows like how to get out, basically. Skipping ahead a little bit, Morgan sacrifices himself, and he just gets sawed right through. Like, I think it starts off at his balls, then it goes all the way up. We don't see too much, but you can just assume. Erin's outside, she runs through a barbed wire. Leatherface cuts his leg and he squeals like a pig. He's like, oh. He runs onto a car on the road where it just keeps driving. It doesn't help her. It's like, no, I ain't doing this shit. It's the 70s late at night in Texas. I ain't stopping for nothing. Finale takes place at the meat factory where Leatherface used to work. So obviously he knows his he knows his way around this location because he spent a lot of time there. We get a sit close up of Leatherface's face while he searches more lockers, just like you're getting Dead by Daylight inspiration here. Dead by Daylight owe a lot to Texas Chainsaw, man. The lockers, the hooks, everything. And it is a really brutal. This is, I think, why they didn't make a sequel to this film, because Erin surprises him and she chops Leatherface's arm off. So literally, he's got one arm now. Like, I mean, how is he supposed to control his chainsaw with one arm? He's like swinging his chainsaw trying to get it off. It's stuck to his arm. It's a pretty funny scene. She runs outside and she's picked up by a guy inside a truck. She says the same lines as the girl from the beginning, like, oh, they're all dead. And then she freaks out when he's passing the gas station, and he stops because she's, you know, freaking out. He goes in there to try and get some help. And we get like a cool fake out where like she's hot wiring the car, and we think, oh, it's the truck, and the Hoyt's coming out to check. He checks the truck, no one in there, but really she was hot wiring the police car, and she runs over Hoyt and she hits him like 3 times, man. Back and forth, back and forth. Leatherface comes and cuts through the car, but she still escapes. She just keeps driving. She's got the baby, which I didn't really mention, but before, like, they had a baby there as well, who clearly they've kidnapped from someone else. It's not their baby. She even screams it. She's like, that's not your baby. Which is a little bit weird of a scene, but, you know, she drives off with a baby, and that's how the film ends. And we go back to the documentary footage one last time. We see a quick shot of Leatherface as he kills the cameraman. Like I said, when I was a kid, I thought it was just like real footage, but obviously it wasn't. But overall rating of this film, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's one of the best horror remakes there is. I'd put it number 3 inside the franchise. I'd put number 2, number 1, and then this, number 3. It is a really good film. Brutal, good characters, different than the original. Like, good actors as well, like Ali Herm, he just steals the show, man, he really does. Leatherface is brutal, I love the look of him as well. Let me know your comments and thoughts down below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Next week we'll be talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, which is a prequel to this film. Until then, peace out in a bit.